Hello and welcome one and all to the return of some mods. We are playing with the fort, as you might be able to see from the surroundings. However, this is the recent adaptation the modder has made for encampment stance. And one thing, pardon me, that I'd like to point out is it really does help prevent the enemy. As you can see, there are multiple reinforcements coming in. However, in a normal battle, the AI would have deployed back here and then instantly jumped in as soon as they can. With the mod, this army that I initiated the battle with does in fact stay in this settlement, or garrison fort. This is very early on in the game, so these are just minor stacks aside from the garrison. Duthu I have over here, as well as a few wood elf mods, shadow beasts, really scary doggos. Essentially, they have the dog's attack stats and everything. 19 or negative 16, pardon me, leadership, as well as magic attacks, and sending the dogs to attack the gatehouse while Duthu and his treekin or treemen are attacking the walls. I'm not too sure if this is specific to the mod or if this is just treemen attacking walls, or giant, I guess, any entity, single entity like that. Even though this wall is all still the same wall, like from this pillar here to this pillar, it's all the same wall. I would think that you could have multiple forces attacking it, but they all want to attack the exact same spot, and giant units just get clustered on themselves, and they ended up interrupting their own attacks. It was very difficult to say for some reason. I am going to go ahead and push in here. And this is just the initial garrison. You can see all of the dwarves that we're going to be fighting left. Sending Duthu in after that Slayer. Going to give him honorable death he wishes. What's the matter? Didn't you want this? Demon Slayer, stop running away. Cowards. Slayers ask for death, but they're too afraid to accept it. It's a beautiful sky. Lovely skybox. Incredible job from the modder here. I have played on their mods before. The only real issue that I've ever experienced playing on these mods is just having too many units. The AI just gets confused with how to issue orders to too many units on the field. But that's, as far as I know, no issue from the map. There is a small lag, as you can see. Some stuttering going on here. I'm guessing this is just due to the number of units on the field. There were quite a few reinforcing. I only have just Duthu's initial stack attacking, so thankfully I'm not overwhelming the computer too much. The Giant Slayer is being handled very well. Every swing from that amber crafted sword. That is amber, right? This sword? The Sword of Daith, I think. It's made from the amber of one of the trees, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. My doggies have finally broken through that gate. Unfortunately, it was well after I had broken through the wall. Also, the capture point. I am making a point not to actually capture this point, because if you do, and if you hold it for the entire duration, there's a timer just as a normal capture point for a fort, then it will end the battle. Even if there are, for instance, Slayers or someone alive. There are no Slayers in this army. Oh my god. Is that the ending you were seeking, Slayer? Getting crushed by the tendrils of Duthu's foot? I mean, that's the equivalent of like squeezing somebody to death with your toes, right? Anyway, so the miners that were left to garrison this fort are not having a good time. Like I said, I am going to make it a point just to sit here and not capture the point, so I'm just fighting around their capture point, defending their walls now as my own, letting these forces come in, because I do still need to beat them up and take this territory. I still gotta deal with the armies. Do have some zotes. Like I said, I do have some mods active in this campaign that I'm playing by myself. If you would like to see any campaign played, comment down below. I do have some zotes for treemen. I also have, where is it? There's a this unit is actually a different kind of treekin. So normal treekin, you can see their stats, 36, 46, 100 weapon strength, whereas these guys have 141, 33 defense, and 61 attack. So these treekin are actually more offensive orientated, which personally I find really helpful, just to help punch through that extra power alongside any dryads or something else that I have them supporting. But they also have a bound ability, which you will be able to see. I've used it 3 times in my campaign currently, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's just a giant tree. But I mean, you know, it's a wood elf tree, so it's actually pretty nice. They are, it would appear, as though they are going for their open breaches that I created. It does, while I played this, make me rethink that I shouldn't have sent my dogs to attack, just so that I could have all of them attacking through one open, or one broken down wall, considering all of these miners would actually be able to do some damage to that gatehouse and break that through, but AI just wants to jump back inside their city. I was also having issues issuing attack orders outside, like having Duthu attack this unit. He would just try to walk all the way out and around, and so I kind of just had to, you know, click him in the center and then wait for the miners to push in far enough to engage him in battle, and then he would get drawn into combat that way. So it's a little tricky, but that's, you know, to be expected with Warhammer. You kind of gotta know what you're doing here. Dispatching the flock of doom. May as well drop the miners. All of these miners. There are some great weapons, I think, from the garrison. Alright, so that's just the normal awakening of the wood. The spell that the modded tree can do is essentially an awakening of the wood. It's just, you know, massive wood. It's morning wood. Any guys, you know what I'm talking about. This is something to get your attention. We do have another demon slayer attacking this treeman here. Jumping at it. There was a third lord somewhere. Oh, there he is. Being dealt with by the other treeman. Dwarf lords and heroes are really, really strong. But when faced with a giant tree, there's not really much you can do, aside from just getting whipped by vines over and over again, apparently. Yeah, he's holding on, and he is a slayer, so he does have bonus versus a layer. Do have some archers as well. This is another of the modded units. Let's put this up so that you can see them. Sons of Archelath. They do have a armor sundering, armor piercing missile attack, as well as magic ammo. So very, very helpful archers, as well as the spear for their melee. You can see that dwarf lord being escorted off the field, or well, being escorted outside the fort. The slayer has brought down my treeman about 60% health, probably 55, something like that. So I'm sending over the full health tree lord as well. Let's take a look back over at this side. Across all of those miners. Do you guys prefer the view that the infantry has? The dryads? Dryads are a little bit taller than dwarves. A lot of miners trying to get through that gap. It's a lot of miners. Duthu, what do you have to say to them? He's not saying much. He said something, whatever that means, abyss. Sending them to the abyss. And down goes another flock. Getting some substantial damage. Oh my goodness, it actually looks like I missed both of those deployments of that spell. I thought that this side popped theirs first. Oh no, here it is. Okay. So this is the spell from the modded treekin. A bunch of magical missiles pop up and just trees. Trees everywhere. You can see the health that takes away trees. I love trees. And just like that, there's a pile of dead miners. Absolutely devastating. So yeah, that was blobbed up more so than you're likely ever going to see in a normal battle, just because of the way things happened here with breaking through the gate there. There is, I believe, some rallying. There's the Lord, rallying Lord, as well as some units. Did I send out my my hounds? Oh yeah. Some of their final units never actually made it into the battle. I think there was 4 units of miners that are still full health even at the end of this. You can see I did drop one of those spells over here as well. Similar damage, not as many dead miners, but enough that you can clearly see an effective spell. Oops. I don't even think the arrows hit. And again, those arrows from the archers do actually have armor sundered, so they will be whittling out the armor for all of these, allowing my dryads to deal more damage. Just abusing all of the miners, crushing them under your toes. Casting another flock of doom because these miners have actually decided to run into the meat grinder. Into the miner grinder. Wow. Pushing the Zotes outside. I can't really get any more close up just from the proximity of the walls. It keeps on shoving my camera way up top. Still, that's quite an effect. Duthu. Such a monster. Now they will all march back. Yeah, so now there are still some wandering miners walking around. I do have the dogs out, taking out their leadership. But you can see these units are actually still rallying, even though there's only like 4 miners somewhere in the field. So at this point, I am going to capture the objective and take this main victory point. Yeah, there's another unit of miners as well coming in. 2 more were behind me, it looks like. And that will signal the end of it. Very, very well done. I love this mod. I really enjoyed playing with it just as like the basic fort. So, fantastic job. They've also incorporated it to take over some city garrisons. So like when you attack a city and whatnot, then you'll end up getting a fort battle. Depending on the level or the tier of the city, I think is what depends on the size of the fort. So those 2 spells, you can see this one here was guarding the gatehouse. He got 20,000 damage. And the treekin that had that spell in the blasted open wall got 51k damage. And that, I believe, actually surpasses Duthu with multiple casts of Flock of Doom, as well as hero hunting, because that's what I use Duthu for. So yeah, that spell, even against miners, not much value, although, you know, they are still heavily armored, so there is still quite a bit of value. You can see 2,300. It's a very, very potent spell. Like, it deals massive damage. I didn't quite, or at least I'm not quite sure if too many saw the AoE, but it's a really wide effect range as well, so really, really nice. I'm really looking forward to checking out more of that mod. That's from one of the Wood Elf mods. I will double check that and put that in the description. I think it's the 12 Realms. I'm not too sure. It's a new mod that I recently looked at, so I'm not too familiar with it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. This was, this was the garrison. All these other just minor stacks were in the way. So, thank you very much for watching, like I've been saying. Catch you in the next time. Comment, like, subscribe, share, all the things. Appreciate it. Peace.